show, full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Just checking that we're on the right microphone this morning. How are you? Tudo bem? Como estás? Do let us know in the chat. Great to see you here, James and Coach and John and Jackie. Fantastic. T-Duck as well. And Mike and Karen are already fantastic. A bit of a mixed bag this morning. I'm not meaning to be rude to Colin. Who joins us soon from Lisbon. He'll be, I think, joining us from the Orient Station, which is one of my favorite pieces of architecture. I know it's a bit Marmite architecturally, isn't it, Orient? But I love that area, Parque de Nações, the quayside where the aquarium is. Fabulous part, Vasco da Gama shopping centre, fabulous part of Portugal and the capital. And Colin's on his way to some motor racing in the Algarve at the Portimao racetrack. His brother's coming over. He'll tell us more about that when he joins us. He has, a little bit like Claudio yesterday, I think some setbacks on the journey down south from here on the Silver Coast. But he'll be joining us at some point. He's got the link. You can have the link as well if you want to join us, because as well as Colin and Paolo Fanassi is going to be here a little bit later from the Algarve with news about his book about expat experiences. Oh, I've just put Bon Dia. No, that's T-Duck who's put Bon Dia Alegria Campers on the screen there. And Bon Dia OB and AP. Oh, I see. Aviva's here. How you doing? Bonjour. On my way to Menton, France by train. Yeah, in this mixed bag I very nearly spoke about just then. We will be talking about the new €20 rail pass here in Portugal, which is great value, obviously, at €20 a month is what I think it costs. But it's also caused a little bit of controversy within the rail industry, I think, across Europe. We also may look at, come to Porto, see what I did there, orgasm research. Yes, you heard me right. That cheap and controversial train travel in Portugal. What is WEXIT? WEXIT has come to my attention this morning. You may be aware that there's been some unrest in the capital. The president has called for calma, tranquilo there. Let's see what message he's been sending to the people of Portugal. And of course, whatever might take your fancy on the news agenda, whether it be lightweight, fluffy stuff like, is the €2 coin in your pocket worth €700, as it turns out? And I know some of you have a view about that. We'll have a look at that story as well. So, and I think that's how it's going to be. We've got this really quite, well, it's 31 days. I'm calling it a long month. It's 31 days, or it's 30. It's one of the longer ones, but the way it falls means that we have a 5-week scenario, and our scheduled co-host timetable leaves us with 4 days with no regular and scheduled co-hosts from Monday to Thursday. So I think we'll be doing more news reviewing. And if you're thinking, oh God, no, not the news, then how about you take responsibility for furnishing the Good Morning Portugal news agenda and the things we look at, and suggest something, suggest what you'd like to talk about. And you can do that in the chat here. Or you can send me a link on 913-590-303. Sit up, Carl. Nice straight back, if you will. There you go. Pedder's also here. Good to see you, Pedder. And I imagine we'll be seeing you tonight on the Expats Portugal call. It's going to be a good one tonight. We're going to be talking to a whole range of people who have retired to Portugal. I don't know if there are any Wexiteers in that cohort tonight. But that'll be a very interesting call, and the Dream Team session at 9, where if you want to suggest a cultural question that I might put to the panel at around 10 o'clock this evening, do pop that into the chat also. Pedder, I think you'll agree it's fascinating to find out what the the panelists think about something, a cultural thing other than all the professional advice they give about moving to Portugal every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Right, let's go to the bulging sack of correspondence, shall we? And thank you, John, for sending this in yesterday. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to clear the screen for this one. No offense, Peder. There they are, sat on the windowsill, enjoying the view. Isn't that beautiful? That's up there in the north of Portugal. And what was the caption you gave me for that? A room with a view. Absolutely beautiful. Two views there of the cats and of the Portuguese landscape. That's an absolutely beautiful picture. Thank you very much. A similar heartwarming material, please. Contributions on 913 590 303. And let's get the party started. We love Portugal, of course, and we celebrate Portugal, as well as looking at more gritty things that are going on in the news. It's very important that we look at life here in Portugal as we love it. Also in other parts of the world where people are growing huge vegetables. We'll come back to careful on that grape. Is that a pumpkin squash? Be careful on that. It's a state record. We'll come back to that as well. So all of life is here on the Good Morning Portugal show. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and massive vegetables and coins that might be worth more than their face value that you might find among the fluff. Old washers, cable ties you might have picked up. Well, that's my pockets I'm speaking about. That might be in your pocket as well. Oh, and we've got a couple of dogs. I don't know if it's an autumn thing, but we've got a couple of dogs that need homes, certainly here on the Silver Coast. Heather can't be with us this morning, but she is hoping that we'll be able to help her find a home for this chap. Is it a chap or a chapette here? I'll tell you more about this lovely hound and this one as well. Two dogs needing homes here on the Silver Coast this morning. Oh, look at lovely Panda, bottom left ankle. Oh, and top left as well, that lovely little face. These two are looking for homes. Maybe it is a seasonal thing. I mean, it's an ever-present thing here in Portugal, of course. Cats and dogs needing homes. And the foreigners coming in, like us, often make space available. It seems like whether we like it or not, two of our pets at the moment just turned up. We didn't have to do much about it. They just turned up on the doorstep. So we'll talk about those two dogs a little bit later on. How are you doing? And then he fell. That's exactly what I was thinking, João Ernesto. When you look at that picture, it looks like I know what I'll do for the local photographer. There's a man standing by there. And look, it's called oversized fun. What else is there? What else is going on in the oversized section of that country fair? Man with ladder standing by, and there we go. That's T-Duck's mate in the United States, of course. His name is Chris. That's Chris. He got the state record in West Virginia. That is it a pumpkin? Do we think? I think we've got a great big watermelon, and we've got a pumpkin there of 2,206 pounds. That's extraordinary, isn't it? How many kilos is that? That's 12. Don't know. But a kilo is 2.2. That shouldn't be too difficult to work out. Is that 100 kilos? I think it might be 100 kilos, but it looks more than that to me. Please, somebody do the math and help me out here. But João Ernesto, I have to admit, that's what I was thinking as well. It's like, this is going to be a great photo. Splat. Oh, but I think there's a good old tough old skin on that. And you can see the other thought that went through my mind when looking at that. It has the look of it, doesn't it? Of those TV shows where people have got so overweight they haven't left their home for 3 years. That looks like sort of belly fat, doesn't it, of somebody in such a program. That was the other thing that occurred to me as well. So, but congratulations nonetheless, Chris, on your 2,206 pound pumpkin there. Great effort. And I think we'll talk more about your watermelon a little bit later on as well. We've got video to play as well. Thank you, João Ernesto. And it appears next week presents another stretch of belated summer days. Yes, last hurrah before. I think so. It's absolutely beautiful here in the Silver Coast. I've stopped counting the days of sunshine. There's been no need. Every day has been a day of sunshine since I started that. Well, a week after I started that project of counting the days. I need to catch up over on the Portugal Club and give my measurements. But basically, for as long as I can remember, over the last few days, it's been sunny every day. We have had rain showers and it's got a bit chillier in the morning and the evening, but we've had beautiful, beautiful, sunny, autumnal days. Pam's in as well. Haven't been able to listen in much recently. Hope everyone is doing okay. That's lovely, Pam. Hope you are as well. How's it going over there in Alcobaça? Squire of the Shires, also in Pontiatos. Hey, I take exception to that. No, oh yes, apart from on Monday, of course. But you're just part of the furniture. No, don't get offended, old guy. Morning from Hugh as well in Visio, and of course the place of the lovely video. Thank you for your kind words, everybody who's commented on, what did I call it? Luxurious simplicity. I think those two words sum up what's going on there at Quinta dos Três Rios. God's God tip of the day to come. Thank you for the video, much appreciated. Played the video yesterday, which explained the I'm going to call it the backward knee extension, which makes it sound really painful, but it was really helpful, and that will go up in the God Squad materials resources as well. How you doing, Jackie? 2 yellow hearts. There's lovely this morning from Jackie. Right, okay, let's oh, Nubianette's here as well. How you doing, Nubianette? And what's your message for us this morning? Oh, and Antonio Barbosa. Bon dia, party people. Sleep soon for you in California. And it's a bon dia from Antonio. Feliz Quinta-feira. Happy name day. Lisa, Leslie, Wilfred, Tony time. What are you talking? What's Lisa, Leslie? I'm not. Are these gumpers we have yet to meet? Right here, Antonio Barbosa. What do you mean, Lisa, Leslie, Wilfred? It was good. There was a pattern to it, and then suddenly Wilfred is thrown in there. Are these hurricanes? Normally they go in alphabetical order, don't they? Now there's a reliable research approach. Days of Sunshine. Yeah, absolutely. I'm available if any major companies, corporations want to hire me for their research team. I have a very light touch with my scientific methods. Hola Malta, Barandi's here for a good time, not a long time. Yay! Off to Aveiro with our guests. Where are you going? What's hot in Aveiro right now? I think you're talking about the town and the city, not the district where you live there, Barandi. But obviously that will entail a little journey through the back streets of the Bairrada, I think, to get up to Aveiro. It's a lovely drive. I remember it well. Gets a bit industrial as you approach Aveiro, but still lots of Portuguese charm. Where are you taking them, Bairandi? We want to know. It's 1,000, of course. It's 1,000 kilos, not 100. 1,000 kilos of pumpkin. That is some serious veg and pie. Does he cook it, T-Duck? Or does it have to just rot in the warehouse there as it's being observed? Harp. Okay. We're talking weather, are we? Or we're talking about weather manipulation. Thank you, Hugh. And hola, Aviva. Paolo has just joined us, so we'll bring him on in just a moment because he's a busy man. Let's not keep him waiting. Let's do that now. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and go immediately to his new book, and I'll put some details up about it on the screen and the link for you to check it out. So round of applause for Paolo Fanassi. Hey up, Paolo.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? How's it going?
Good here in Algarve. Always a paradise, but in the book you will see that not a paradise for everybody. It's just for yeah.
Okay. So there's a new you got a new book, and another name who is known to our community. Anna Alcott is your co-author, right, on this book. Tell us about it.
Because I make 90% of interview, but is obviously I don't speak or write in correct English. So I think the first edition of book will be in English for many reasons. Because the intention is a guide for the foreigners or expats, immigrants, whatever you want to want to move to Algarve and the people, and for the people who lives in Algarve. So I think, okay, we are in Algarve. I speak Portuguese. I can write in Portuguese, but I think the first edition in English for many reasons, marketing, because it's a language worldwide, English. So many thousand foreigners here speak in English. So I think English is the language, the first language. And I start to translate yesterday in Italian.
Did you?
Yes, because I am Italian, so I can do that. Then I will translate in Spanish. I alone. I speak and write perfect Spanish too, and then in Portuguese. When some friends, German friends or French friends, join me, maybe we'll translate in French and German.
That's amazing.
But Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese, I guarantee, because I can do this. But for other language, I need somebody. I think the important of this book, one of the point of the strength of the book is the European point of view is just a half of a book. So we interview 90 people from 60 different countries. Europe is 29 countries. So the other 31 is not from Europe. And this is important because we think, when I told to you, Algarve is a paradise, you have no doubt, correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
From English point of view, you have no doubt.
Yes.
But for the many other countries, Algarve is hell, because they don't. An example: the people who came from Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Angola, Morocco, so I don't care about the beach. Care about the money, about the rent of the apartment. For Brazilian people, Algarve is a cold area. For England, for England, the weather, the warm. But for England, for Brazilian, Angola or Mozambique, Algarve is very cold in winter. An example. So we interview people from Pakistan, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand, Paraguay, Panama, Mexico, USA. So 60 different countries. I can interview people from more countries. I can interview 100 more people. An example. But the idea is not to make a book with 300 interviews, 500 page, because maybe it's too big, too expensive, maybe too boring. Imagine 300 interviews. So I think 90 interview, 60 country is a good panorama.
Yeah.
No, many different point of view.
Yes.
So I think, and the point of view is the interview is focus. The focus is little bit story about the people.
Yeah.
Why they come to Algarve is very important. This to understand why you are in Algarve.
Yeah.
The other thing important is the good and the bad in Algarve. The point of view, the different point of view. What about the bureaucracy?
Yeah.
The healthcare system. An example. Other thing that many people, not retired people, but many people, maybe 40, 50 years old, maybe not always think, but healthcare system is important, very important.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy, okay, and then funny stories, some funny story. An example.
Yes, give us an example. Give us an example of a funny story.
Yes, an example. A Panama guy have a girlfriend. The girlfriend work. She's an embalmer.
What?
Embalmer.
Yes. No, I know what you mean, but that's.
And he that write in the book told to her, please, one day, if I sleep too much, don't embalmer me.
Wow, that must have been a really interesting first date, though, mustn't it? I wonder if that happened in the Algarve. What do you do for a living? Oh, dessert? I'm not. I don't know. Let's just go back to your place. Oh, I need to lie down. What? Okay. Any other interesting anecdotes from people's lives who've settled in the Algarve, Paolo?
An example, other things. Okay, an example, funny or memorable moments. Memorable moments. I ask the people, told about us your memorable moments here,
Yes. Yes.
and told another point of view. Very very interesting is what the end of the interview is what they say can say to whatever people around the world who want to come to Algarve. An
Yes.
example.
Yes, great idea. I mean, it sounds like a work of journalism, doesn't it? As well,
Yes, yes,
is that
yes.
is that your background? Are you a journalist as well?
No, because no, when I am young, when I have 15 years old, all the people told me, so when you growing, what your idea, what you want to do? I always think, dream to become a journalist, but
Yeah.
in 30 years ago, the journalism work start to become worse every year. Worse in an example, worse not in condition, what in income, a thousand of hours, and you have no pay what you
Right.
deserve. Very sacrifice. So I don't. Continue the dream. I don't follow the dream to become a journalist, but
Okay.
I always like, and because I have one point of strength. I am very I use this in politics, so I can see the situation, and I can ask something polémica, ¿cómo se dice?
Yes,
Polémica.
a seriousness about it, and an insight into the human experience. Because that's how I know you. You are very interested in the quality of people's lives. And what's fascinating for me about this book is it's not just like a fluffy tourist book. Come to the
No,
Algarve.
It's not
That, is it? No, this is about people's real human experience in the Algarve and what it's like to be there from the perspectives of many different people from all over the world. And in many ways, it challenges the standing view, doesn't it, of what it's like to be living in the Algarve. It's not all playing golf as a wealthy person drinking gin and tonics. This book goes beyond the mere collection of life stories. It makes a significant contribution to the global understanding of what it means to be a foreigner in an unfamiliar land. This is the important thing, isn't it? The Algarve, with its unique blend of natural beauty and cultural richness, serves as the ideal backdrop for exploring these narratives. And that's what you've done, isn't it? Definitely.
Because we interview rich people, retired people, but I interview the people who sell the towel in the beach.
Yeah.
I interview people the unemployment. I interview the black, white, blonde, a poor, young.
What does it left you with? Do you feel more or less positive about humanity at this interesting time in our history, Paolo, as a result of talking to so many people?
No, I think no. For me, it's very interesting because I can, with this book, I can have an opportunity to entry in the heart of the people.
Yes.
Because the people, I guarantee you, I have no censorship. I know manipulate. Whatever the people told to me, I write.
Very good. Proper journalism. Proper journalism.
No, it's not. No, baby, this is not convenience. No. They say an example. People from Guinea-Bissau. They told me. Read, speak to all the people who want to come to Algarve who don't come. Here is a hell. Don't come because the rent is impossible. Few money. So is an example. I write this. Norway people. Here is a paradise. An example. Good weather. It is a paradise, good weather. So I don't censure nothing. I saw the people's speech, and I told to the people, don't speak with your mind, speak with your heart, because
Very good.
the mind is too cold. The mind.
Yes.
No, and you don't speak the true at 100% if you speak with the mind, but with the heart, what you feeling. I question to the people, what you feeling. This is important. So an example. In the story, it's not just funny moments, and like in Balmer. An example, memorable story. An example was an accident story. An example. Many people. I remember when I have an accident here in Algarve. An example. So because your heart is hard, no? So you speak about what you feeling. So good, but maybe bad.
Yeah.
So and the other point of view, very important. The strength of the book for me very important, because European people many times think the world around us.
Around them, yeah. Well, we all do,
Yes,
don't we? Yes.
yes, and it's not, and have many countries, many people, thousands of people from other continents living in Algarve. So
Yeah.
I will went to interview many people from other cities in our spread Algarve, not only Albufeira. Albufeira is I live in Albufeira, but Albufeira was I think 10% of the book.
Interesting. Okay, so you've got a really
yes, because it's not a book about Albufeira. It's a book. It's a book about around the Algarve. An example, interview people. I wanted, and I try and I reach to interview people from all the council in Algarve, all the council, all the cities, in Faro, Castromarín, Algesur, Sagres, all the city. This is important because you understand the point of view who people live in Sagres is very different than Villarreal de Sant Antonio. It's in opposite.
Absolutely, it's a very diverse region, isn't it?
No, because the weather is different.
Yes,
the weather is very 10 degrees difference many times.
Right.
Yes, in summer is the difference is very high. In very high because the winds of the oceans in the Costa Vicentina Costa Vicentina is between Sagres and Algesur. Is very different from Villarreal Sant Antonio, is border with Spain. The difference is 10 degrees. The weather and the sea is very freezy than the south of Algarve. The nature is very different. The people and the economy who lives in the Sagres or Algesur is very different than the economy you have in very different. Yes.
Paolo, fascinating to find out about your book. It's available via Amazon. It's $5.99 on Kindle, which is great, and there'll be hard copies. And I'm sure if people get in touch with you directly, 963-248-878, they can get a copy. Meet you, possibly buy you a coffee, and get a signed copy from you at $11.99. We've got one of our friends is just joining us on the screen. He's heading to the Algarve, so we need to connect you very quickly here, and you can give him an Algarve weather report. It's Colin Ross-Jones, everybody, who's reporting live from the Orient station in Lisbon. Is he going to have enough layers on there, Paolo, for the weather in the Algarve this morning and this weekend?
The weather?
Yeah. He said, you're going to Portimao, Colin, right? You're off to Portimao, to the racetrack.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Will be rain. Will rain here. Today afternoon and in Saturday and Sunday will rain in Algarve and in all Portugal, but in Algarve too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so not ideal conditions for racing, which is what Colin's going to see. Colin Ross-Jones is going to be at the racetrack at the weekend. Paolo. So he needs to pack his pack-a-mac for that. Before you go, this is our Go Motoring Portugal feature with Colin Ross-Jones here. As an Italian, I suspect you're quite proud of your motor industry in Italy. What's your favorite Italian car ever?
Okay, you know, I am a very fanatic when I am child. I am very fanatic for Formula One.
Right.
Formula One. Okay, MotoGP is important for me. Giacomo Agostini was the best. Giacomo Agostini in the moto in MotoGP. But I am a fanatic from Formula One. So I saw all the entire career of Ayrton Senna, an example, Michael Schumacher. So I am a Ferrari fan, but for me the best ever, without doubt, is Ayrton Senna.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And what about cars? If you could drive any Italian car, classic or modern, what would you be driving around in the Algarve?
Okay, I think Lamborghini is one of the best.
Oh, look, Colin's not so sure. He's a massive Alfa Romeo fan. He loves his Alfas, does Colin. But if you see a Lamborghini, a throbbing beast of a Lamborghini, it might be Paolo Fanassi driving it around in Albufeira. Mate, good luck with the book. Always fantastic to talk to you and great fun. And give our best regards to the embalmer lady. She sounds like a hoot. Okay, take care. Ciao, ciao, mate. Bye, bye. Colin Ross-Jones, how are you?
Well, I'm very well, very well.
Excellent. You look ready for the racetrack. You look like you've got the proper gear on, ready for the racetrack.
Oh,
yeah. What's happening in Portimao this weekend? Tell us about it.
Well, it's called the Algarve Classic, and the particular race that my brother is in is a 2-hour race with Cobras, Jaguar E-types, Austin Healey 3000s, and his TR4 and Lotus Sedans. So it's my yearly October trip to the Algarve.
Pilgrimage. It's amazing. So he'll be driving around the Portimao track for 2 hours. He could be in Spain in that time.
Possibly, yes.
Yes, he's got quite a dash as well. So how's your journey been so far? We're going to look at this new €20 rail pass that Portugal has released. How's your experience been this morning? You must have been up early. You've gone from the Silver Coast to Orient, and now you're heading on down to the Algarve from there.
Yeah. It was a 7:45 bus from Caldas.
Wow.
Due here at 8:55. We got here at 9:20.
Oh,
but my train isn't until 2 minutes past 10, so the timing for me is okay. But it does remind me why I'm just not a city person. I couldn't put up with all this traffic.
You're out of the habit, I think, because back in the day you used to travel a lot of miles, didn't you?
I know, but I've never enjoyed traffic queues ever.
Right.
And I must admit, if I lived in this area, I wouldn't have the car I have, because there's no point in having a driver's car because you're stuck, bumper to bumper.
I think it's all about the public transport, isn't it? It's a great city to live in for public transport.
Yeah.
It looks like you might be sat in a conservatory at the moment. Can we have a long shot of the fabulous Orient station? Because I think it's a great piece of architecture. Look at these shapes, everybody. So I'm going to give you full screen for a moment. This was built, I think, with the great big expo, wasn't it, in Lisbon that happened?
Yes, it was.
Years ago now. It's a wonderful part of Lisbon, and it was, it's the heart of the regeneration of that part on the waterfront there, and I think it looks great, and it is a bit of a Marmite architecture, isn't it? Because on a cold and windy day, it's not a brilliant place, but it is quite a statement on the landscape. Are you a fan of that area and that architecture?
Yes, I like architecture. I'm not. Every architect I've ever come across seems to like roofs. Yes. They have unnecessary roofs. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, they want to be seen, don't they? They want to be seen from the sky and on the landscape, I suppose. So if you're an architect, that's your way of expressing yourself. Hugh's here, wishing you a good morning. Hi, Colin,
Well,
says Hugh in Visio.
one year, Hugh and Jane came with me to the race,
Oh, so
and
they know it.
we had a wonderful time.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Not so good in the connecting tunnels. Lots of blankets. Oh, yeah. It is a bit of a dormitory, isn't it? Down below in Orient Station at the moment.
Oh yeah. It's a heaven for people sleeping, I think.
Right. I mean, yeah. Out of the, you wouldn't want to sleep up top there at Orient. It's it's a bit
No.
warmer with those tunnels down below. If you need to get your head down and get some shelter. Right. Okay. So you're heading to Portimao. Your brother's going to be in a classic race, 2 hours. Will there be any of these? Our car of the week this week, this is actually Bob and Viv's MX-5, and there'll be a video to follow. That's our chosen car of the week. You're a big fan of this vehicle, aren't you?
Oh, I am. I used to own one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Will
Exactly.
they be racing? Will they be racing any of these in Portimao this weekend?
No. The cars that my brother's in, the newest car would be 1966.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a whippersnapper and a very new car by comparison. It looks perfect. I've got some excellent source material for the video I'm going to make about the Mazda MX-5, Bob and Viv's car. This looks perfect for driving around top down in Portugal. Colin, what else can you tell us about it?
Well, yeah, they corner extremely well. One of the famous racing drivers that sometimes races with my brother as a co-pilot, a guy called Mark Hales. He won the British Touring Car Championship, and he does race driver training, and he uses the Mazda MX-5 as the car to teach people to drive a circuit.
Oh, right,
because they are really good at cornering. They're a safe car to drive, and Mazda give him the car as well. So.
Well, that's all right, isn't it? Yes, that's a good deal. All right, so that's our car of the week, and we got some lovely footage. Say they drove to Finisterre with their MX-5, and I think they're having a wonderful time of it. And it's not hugely expensive, is it? It's a nice car to have. You can pick up quite a nice little bargain with an MX-5. Go to our friends for that.
You can indeed. They perform well. The good thing about them is you can drive quickly and not break the speed limit.
Okay. So, what? Because it's got good acceleration.
Well, you can enjoy it in that fashion.
Yeah.
It didn't suit me too much because I had a black fabric roof, and my head was nearly touching it. So when it was really hot here, I was boiling.
Right. Okay.
And of course, you can't have the hood down when the sun's glaring.
No, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, and that's a useful heads up, pardon the pun, to anybody thinking that you might be able to have the top down all the time. Sometimes it just gets too darn hot to have such a vehicle with a topless vehicle of that kind. What do you think's happening here? Thank you, Pam, for this. Is this illegal, or is this allowed in towns and cities in Portugal? I don't know if you saw that, Colin. One more time. That wasn't you, was it? Why are you shaking your head?
Well, there's a time and a place for everything, and that's why I go to the Algarve. That's the place for that sort of thing.
Not on the streets of Alcobaça.
You put an idiot like that into a proper race, and they're right at the back.
You got proper judgmental there. That is an official rally in Alcobaça, a street rally, and that was one of the competitors. I believe so. Anyway, it could have been some of the unrest, sadly, that we're seeing in our capital at the moment here in Portugal. But I think that's an official rally in Alcobaça that was sent to us by Pam this morning.
Oh,
A little bit about. Go on, carry on.
I take it all back, that I really do appreciate rally drivers. I think they are better than the circuit racers.
They're incredible, aren't they? I mean, their reaction. It's
reaction.
hard. Yeah. They're driving the vehicle like it's part of their body, and they've got these incredible co-drivers as well. It reminds me of you and me when we've been on our road trips around Portugal. Right, electric cars. Let's put this to bed once and for all. It's ridiculous, all this EVs or not EVs. I think this is the last word we need to say on this. Electric cars, the truth as I see it, I'm fed up with comments from people ridiculing EVs, electric vehicles. They don't know what they're talking about. Personally, I drive 2 top-of-the-range EVs, a Jaguar and a Porsche. Their acceleration and handling is fantastic, Colin. They look brilliant, and they're really cheap to run. They need hardly any maintenance, and they haven't depreciated since I bought them, which is amazing, isn't it? Literally, the only criticism I could make of them is sometimes if I really push them into a corner, they can fly off the track and get stuck under the sofa. Well, that's lightening the mood about EVs, isn't it? Anything else to say in this unfolding situation with EVs around the world? The debate is heating up, isn't it, against the backdrop of 2030 and net zero?
Yeah, it is. And, the unfortunate thing for the West is that they're 20 years behind in technology compared with China. And the Chinese are producing the cars so cheaply that we're having to put big tariffs on the cars that come into Europe, which really is a bad move, because people like Mercedes and BMW make all their profit from selling their high-end cars in China.
Yes. Yeah, well, an interesting situation as it unfolds. High tariffs and then high taxes. Oh, actually, to be fair, in Portugal, they are tax-free, aren't they, currently? Maybe we're attenuating the pain. Yeah. All right. So if people want to come and join you on Saturday, which is when I think is the action taking place on Saturday or tomorrow?
No, it's practice. It's free practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
For people who don't know the circuit very well to go out and try it. And Hugh's on his.
Hugh's here with a firm view. It's unlike Hugh to have a firm view on things, but here he is. He's being unspoken. He's being unspoken. Never happened. Chinese are pretending to tell them, but they end up in huge fields. There you go. So sorry, more about Portimao.
Yeah, so free practice tomorrow for I think he has an hour, and he lets his son go out because the son doesn't know the car as well as Alan does.
Okay.
And then they have their half-hour practice qualifying on Saturday, and then the 2-hour race is 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Fabulous. Excellent. Okay, so have fun there and a safe onward journey. We're going to have a look at this this news item about the new €20 rail pass. Suffice to say, it's been quite good value, hasn't it, for you to travel down from the Silver Coast to the Algarve?
Let's put it this way: it's cost me €4 to get to Orient.
And
to go from here to Portimao and back on Sunday evening is €34.
Amazing. And back, return journey. So you'll have some money left over for some chips and curry sauce and a pint of Guinness in Portimao.
And that's first class as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You upgraded.
It has its benefits being old.
Excellent. Well, have a great weekend. Best regards to the family, to your brother there, and good luck to him as well. Yeah.
Are we going to do a bit of a live from the pits on Saturday?
You're live from the show in Caldas de Rainha last weekend. Was very popular. So let's join you at the Colin Ross-Jones at the Formula One circuit in Portimao this Saturday. Oh, and a quickie here. Hola, bon dia. I heard BMW has decided to stop production of EVs and they have figured out how to make hydrogen cars. That's exciting news. Is it true, Colin, as far as you know?
They're making hydrogen as well as EVs, yes.
Oh, okay. So they haven't stopped on the EVs yet. Okay, that might be
No, but
Europe's chance, though, mightn't it, to stay in the car business, is to convert to a different form of fuel.
yeah, what's happening is a lot of the European manufacturers have slowed down their production of EVs because they've got huge stocks of
Right.
cars that they can't sell because they're not quite as technologically advanced as they should be compared with the opposition, like Korea and China.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. Thank you for your insight. This has been Go Motoring Portugal, slightly different today. Colin Ross-Jones live from the Orient station on his way to Portimao. You have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Cheers,
See you
mate.
Saturday.
All right, bye for now. Yep, live stream from the track on Saturday. And Barak, I did ask the question. What do you think about that? The more good news, the new scheme for helping young people get homes, it kicks in January. Yeah, that's great news, isn't it? Good morning to you, James. And nice, super excited to visit Portugal with the Rail Pass. We'll have a look at that in just a moment, as well as orgasm research in Porto. Yes, that's been reported in the Portugal Resident. What is WEXIT? We might find out a bit more about that this morning. And anything else that's taken your fancy, tickled or taken your fancy in the news, send me a link, 913-590-303. You can even call in if you want. Hydrogen is hard to make without fossil fuels. Do not try this at home, James. Is that your personal experience there? I wonder. Okay, this travel pass. Yes, they're calling it a pass. Let's bring it onto the screen now and have a look at this. Thank you, Anna Todd, by the way, who brought this to my attention on our GMP TV Facebook group. She's doing a great job over there with some excellent news sources that we may take a look at over the next week or so. As I say, we'll be doing a lot more news reviewing. So if you want to shape that agenda and bring to our attention things that you are especially proud of or interested in Portugal, you can do that from next Monday to Thursday of next week, where we go off piste a little bit, apart from James on Monday morning, regular programming with James on Monday, and then a bit of a free-for-all Monday to Thursday of next week. Let's have a look at this €20 rail pass. We've got Dogs That Need a Home as well coming up, and a God Squad to the day. €20 rail pass then cannibalizes the market, says European Association. Good reporting from Natasha Don, as ever in the Portugal Resident, proving it is impossible to please everybody. All rail. Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? What could possibly go wrong with a €20 rail pass? That sounds fantastic. Well, not if you're the European Association of Independent Rail Operators. They've got the right hump about this. It's complaining that Portugal's new €20 rail pass will cannibalize the European Union's single rail market. Oh, Portugal being a bit naughty, I think, like it is with its car taxes. Maybe the same here, and they might get a fine, but they might choose to pay the fine instead of changing their behavior. And all attempts to open up the long-distance rail passenger transport market. Oh, my goodness. This does sound like a statement from a watchdog, doesn't it? Private companies and investors are going to be suffering, they think. According to the association, the cases of other EU member states from Sweden to Czechia show that subsidies are not necessary to lower prices, since this is the result of market liberalization. Thus, All Rail is said to be calling on political decision makers to intervene and ensure fair competition, says Loser. Somebody has this as a job, you know, calling the rail pass that will improve thousands, if not hundreds of lives of ridiculously cheap. It is not clear from All Rail's press release which political decision makers it's referring to. I'm getting some mired here, aren't we? Bogged down in the politics behind this, what seems like a fabulous gesture of a €20 rail pass. The new €20 rail pass must not be the ticket to a permanent CP monopoly. Oh, that's what they're concerned about. They want deregulation of the railway here in Portugal. Okay, and subsidizing CP, Portugal's rail network, is a way of stopping people entering that market. I see. Okay. I was actually more interested in the €20 rail pass itself. Has anyone got the link to that, or have you got some more information on it? Or indeed, have you bought one? And are you using that to travel around Portugal at the moment? I'm just wondering if somebody could buy that and go to work on it, but presumably it's an off-peak deal of some kind. Right, okay. The orgasm research in Porto must be all about how Hank feels about living there. Or, yes, maybe he's at the epicenter. The earth is moving for Hank whenever he thinks about his beloved Porto. And there's a gathering where you can meet Hank this morning. Not this morning, this weekend, of course. It doesn't work. Do you remember when Hank used to be with us in the morning? So it was when he was in America, wasn't it? It doesn't work on metro lines. Okay, for example, Cascais to Lisbon. I thought so. It's not for everyday travel, is it? It's about exploring the country, and that's probably the case that our CP here are making in the face of this criticism from people such as All Rail there, the European watchdog by the look of it. Okay, let me find that orgasm research, should you want to be taking part in that. Yes, embarrassingly, I will now be typing orgasm into the search bar of the Portugal resident, thereby changing my search history forever and taking quite a big risk, frankly, this morning, as we look at, as I bravely look at this news item on your behalf, so that you don't have to have this in your own search history, proving. Oh no, that's sorry, that's the old one. But then again, that's not a bad start to an orgasm research study either, proving it is impossible to please everybody. But no, Carl, that is the wrong one there. Let me bring on the right screen for you this morning. Quite a wide variety of topics, you might agree, this morning. Try linking, and an interesting picture choice as well, I see there. Is this Natasha? No, that's not literally Natasha Don. Don't get me wrong here. But I think the story, yes, is by Natasha Don. And it's a single paragraph. The University of Porto's psychology faculty seeks volunteers to relate their experiences for a study on orgasm. It's not a particularly active task in this case. Candidates are asked to respond anonymously to a long questionnaire. Everyone's cooling down a bit reading this single paragraph, expected to last considerably longer than an orgasm. It can be found by clicking on this link, should you want to do that. Should I put that in the chat for you? I think I will. For the purpose of scientific research, that's going into the chat right now. Nice one, Natasha. 2 doggies then that need homes. Let's give you a bit more information about these 2 lovely looking characters, actually, I've got to say. And we might return to massive watermelons as well. You can't say we're not diverse in our news coverage here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Now, this one, Heather, as I say, can't be with us this morning, but she does have the rather lovely hound here that she rescued by chance, she says. People can contact her directly about Lollipop here, who is 3 to 4 years old, now fixed. By that, I'm assuming sterilized, potty trained, gentle, chill, needs to be the only pet, however. Apparently, it's a she, Lollipop. She's resource guarding, so quite protective, I think. Looks older, doesn't she? Or maybe had a tough paper round so far. Looks older than 3 to 4 years old. But anyway, you can get in touch with Heather if you can offer Lollipop a home, who is sponsored by Red Leonardo Shelter in near Caldas Terrenia, but is being fostered currently by Heather. Heather is amazing with animals. And she's also a pet hotel, of course. That's Heather. Let's go from Lollipop to Panda. Responsible adoption looking is sought for Panda of medium build at 16 kilos. And Panda is great with her 2 female dogs, says Jenny. And after a little frisson with the male dog initially, while they were both intact, not been fixed, things are now smooth and they play nicely together. I think Jenny basically has enough dogs already near Obidush, and is looking for a home for this 19-month-old male, castrated, vaccinated, and chipped, who's highly energetic, goofy, athletic, very loving and sweet. Not a lap dog, but somebody who you'll need to take for a walk. Can you help this boy find his forever home? A couple of appeals then for 2 dogs there. I can help you with that if you don't know Jenny yourself, who's looking for a home for Panda there. Right, let's play a little bit of video, shall we? Thank you, Owen, for your school update. Before we go to that, let's have a little bit of beautiful visuals from João de Nort here. We will do a God Squad tip of the day after this, and we will have a further update, a nice condensed video of what Owen's been up to in Ponte Lima as well.
Let's see if we can find the rock art. Arte rupestre. Must be out here somewhere. So apparently this is actually a place named after literal rock art, and this sign talks about late Bronze Age period, and so I took a photo of this rock here, and it has this image of it here. But anyway, it was initially referenced in 1969. They talk about this motif and techniques, abrasion techniques, attributing it to the late Bronze Age. Anyway, pretty neat.
Soldiers and a fleet of 200 ships. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle reports that in 1009, Ethelred launched a greater armada than any other English ruler before him. But Ethelred struggled to control his court. Eadric the Grabber promoted his brothers to high positions, and conflicts erupted between his family and the traditional noble houses. Finally, Eadric's brother, Rictric, accused a well-respected Thane, Wulfnar.
That was so relaxing, especially at the end there. Thanks, John. What a great way to end a day at the beach, curling up with your cat there of an evening and watching a documentary by the sound of it. Now, that is a fabulous place. Of our visit to Art Rupestre near Praia de Careso, north of Viana. And apparently rupestre translates as the English word rupestrian, which I had to look up. It literally means art done on rocks. And I was thinking there, Bronze Age parents, were they telling their children to stop carving on the rocks? You'll get cold out there, get back in the cave. And like, you know, he's always out there carving on the rocks. And this is just the equivalent, isn't it, of kids being on screens for too long back in the Bronze Age, perhaps. Right. God Squad tip of the day then. Thanks, Coach Turner, for this. Cheers, John. That was so beautiful. And you are finding some amazing places up there in the north of Portugal. Thanks by Randy for your rally links as well. A couple of rally events for those that are excited by the rally references earlier on in the show this morning. A couple of events that I'll also bring to you before we close out the show today. And don't forget, join us this evening, of course, on the Expats Portugal channel for the webinar about people retiring to Portugal and the Dream Team session at 9 this evening as well. So our God Squad tip of the day, my goodness, we're scrolling all the way back to 8:30 this morning. Bom dia, Campos, Feliz Quinta. Another dry and mild day off for a walk, training and coaching later. Longer reps today of about 20 seconds. So effectively a fartlek workout for the coach there. And his God Squad tip of the day is this. We're looking at improving knee mobility. For those of you with noisy knees like me, this is this week's topic. So I was conscious of that when walking to the coffee shop a couple of days ago. I realized I wasn't extending my legs. As I walked, my legs were remaining slightly bent. Is that not good from a Tai Chi perspective? So I started to deliberately push my knees back with each step. That led to two things. Firstly, people were slowing down in passing cars and pointing at me. No, that's not one of them. Firstly, I could feel my legs beginning to extend more. Oh, very good. Secondly, it slightly increased my stride length. Mindful walking here. So if you don't fancy the exercise I demonstrated the other day, then just consciously push back with your knees when out walking. I tried your exercise that we saw in the video yesterday, and I was really surprised. I actually tried it in the bath. I had a lovely hot bath last night and did the backward extension of the knee, which I've never thought about before. And it was a really good all-round stretch of the whole leg and the calf as well. And I've never been able to touch my toes. And I think that might be a very good thing to do, the backward knee flex. Don't do it too hard, of course. The knee isn't meant to go back too far that way. But I think in terms of getting the balance right between not abusing your body, but also maintaining some flexibility and mobility. That's a great exercise. I would never have thought of that without your help there, Coach. It will gradually increase your leg extension, doing what he's suggesting this morning. And who doesn't like Who doesn't like to do that first thing in the morning? Nice one, Coach. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to be having a quick look at massive vegetables as well, because it was Chris, isn't it, in the US, that's got the fabulously big vegetables. Yeah, T-Duck's mate, Chris. Let's have another look at his prize-winning vegetables in case you weren't here earlier on today. Look at him. There he is, standing atop his pumpkin. And there's his watermelon that I promised you as well. And that's weighing in at just over 240 pounds of watermelon. And I really want to know, T-Duck, if these are going to be eaten as well, or are they just for exhibition purposes there? Great job. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Paolo, for joining in earlier on. There's his book, of course, about the Algarve experience, which you can buy directly from him. And it is available on Kindle as well. Oh, and there was the €2 thing, wasn't there, as well? And WEXIT. Okay, let me just go back to the two. In case you're looking through the various things that you find in your pocket, including fluff, cable ties, old washers, and so on. Let's have a very quick look at this just after 10 this morning. Sorry, I haven't included everything I wanted to this morning. So let's just quickly do that. There's a £2 coin, apparently, worth over €700. What you're looking for is not any old €2 coin. And I love collecting €2 coins anyway. They're a really good way to save, aren't they? You know what? If you have 50 of them, you've got €100. Right. According to La Information, there are French €2 coins issued in 2001, which are worth over €700, apparently. The obverse features the so-called Tree of Life and the motto of the Gallic Republic. This is worth mentioning, isn't it? Liberté, égalité et fraternité. And there it is. I've got a feeling that one there is probably not worth the 700. It's in a right old state, isn't it? And according to reliable sources, if you want these coins to be worth that sort of value, they do need to be in good condition. And probably if they've been in yours and other people's pockets for a while, they probably aren't in good condition. But always interesting. And who doesn't have a massive load of Portuguese coins, if not others from around the world, in a pot somewhere in their house? It's fascinating, isn't it? And you think to yourself, whoa, that must be worth something. And probably the ones that they look like they should be aren't, and the ones that aren't, like this one, really. This is an offensive looking coin, isn't it? Turns out it might be worth €700. Now, WEXIT, if I may draw your attention over to the Portugal Club, where all the news references this morning for everything we've talked about pretty much is available, along with the crime report. Oh, we didn't go to what the president, we'll carry that forward. I think this ongoing situation in the capital, some civil unrest, urban unrest there, and the president has called for calm. You can find that for yourself in the Portugal Club. But one thing I did want to mention before we left this morning was this WEXIT business. Now, apparently, quite a high number of individuals of high net worth in the UK, wealthy people, that's why it's called WEXIT, they are leaving the UK. And when I was reading through this research here, and it's from a company called Henley, I believe. Let me just have a quick look and find out so I can quote them properly. Yes, henleyglobal.com. And they were telling us basically that a great number of people are leaving the UK ahead of the new budget that's coming out, I think, quite soon. And I was reading through it and I was thinking, okay, so where are they going? They're going to the UAE. They're going to USA, funnily enough. They're going to Singapore, Canada, Australia, and they're also coming to Europe, to Portugal. Portugal makes the top 10 there. Isn't that amazing? As alongside Italy. Do we count Switzerland as part of Europe, or is it its own special place outside of Schengen? Anyway, Italy, Greece, and Portugal. Nice to see Portugal there. And interestingly, people are going to Japan as well to avoid paying or being clobbered by taxes, allegedly in the UK there. So well done, Portugal, making that list. And thank you, Henley Global, for that. Have a great day. I've enjoyed this morning's show. I hope you have too. And see you tonight on the Expats Portugal webinar. A couple more comments. Civil unrest. That just makes, yes, okay. I'm sure I should be able to find out, use a better phrase than that, but I think you get the civic unrest. No, that doesn't work too. Rioting in the capital. How about that? Ciao, ciao, les amis. Bonne journée, vous tous. And abura gigante there, your Portuguese translation, thanks to the old guy in Europe for the massive pumpkin there. Well done, Chris. And it's many people who are believing the headlines rather than what people have actually announced. Okay, when it comes to WEXIT. But then again, when you've got a nice little new phrase to launch on the public like WEXIT, you're going to fabricate a story, aren't you, to go with it, I suspect, as well. Not that I'm suggesting that's what Henley Global have done. I imagine they just want to sell nice wealth management packages to individuals of high net worth. Take care. Bye for now. And we shall see you again tomorrow. All the best.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.